Here we are a week from spring training, and there are still over 100 free agents in baseball unsigned. Usually there would only be a handful of free agents available before the start of spring training, but for the second straight year, the baseball offseason has been a dud. This is a sign the game is changing for a variety of reasons. Perhaps when Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, the two biggest free agents, sign, we will see the dominoes fall and most players will get signed. But this slow activity shows teams simply do not want to get locked into long-term contracts that they will regret a few years later. Look at Jason Heyward's contract with the Cubs from a few years ago. He signed an 8-year, $183 million contract before the start of the 2016 season. Heyward has hit only .252 with the Cubs in 3 years with only 26 home runs. He had 27 home runs in his second full season with Atlanta back in 2011. The Cubs are stuck with him for 5 more years and $105 million more. These teams have just been bit with these bad deals, and they're sick of it. And they're also afraid of giving players huge money into their mid-30s. Harper and Machado are great players now in their mid-20s, but what will they be worth a decade from now when they are 36? Teams don't want to pay a player what they were worth in their mid-20s when they likely won't be as good of a player a decade later. This means younger players, cheaper players, will be the premium in baseball. The prime years are no longer between 28 and 31 or even 26 and 29. That's why teams are shying away from paying big money to these older veteran players. So if all of this is true, does this mean the Braves can benefit from these changes? They still have one of the best farm systems in baseball. And even with a lot of prospects graduating to the big leagues last year, the Braves still have a ton of prospects on the way. Between MLB.com, ESPN, and Baseball America, 9 different Braves prospects were listed on the top 100 list. And maybe this is why Alex Anthopoulos, the GM, has been so patient this offseason. We wanted Bryce Harper, but maybe Anthopoulos' approach will be the best. Atlanta's rebuild was accelerated last year when they won the division, and now changes in the sport could make the timing of the Braves rebuild perfect. They could still add a player or two, maybe even Craig Kimbrel, but perhaps the Braves' best offseason acquisitions are already in their organization. Perhaps these young prospects will be the key to Atlanta getting back to the World Series.